So many of us have realized the power of local government for the first time these past few months. At LA Forward, holding local government accountable for advancing justice has always been our mission. Through a unique combination of neighborhood organizing, policy education, and digital activism, we bring together a community of people dedicated to fighting for policies that will make LA a fair, flourishing place for everyone. The pandemic left us feeling powerless. The uprising gave us a taste of collective action's power. Now the question is, how do we sustain the momentum? My name is David Levitus, and I founded LA Forward to help us answer that question. For me, democracy is personal. Talking politics around my family's kitchen table, I absorbed the belief that government could be a force for good. I took to heart the words, the quote my grandfather posted all around his house: "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world." But when I left home, I realized how deep systems of injustice ran. I saw how institutions supposedly devoted to the public good actually functioned. And the contradiction plunged me into despair so great I could barely get out of bed. You know what saved me? Closing my laptop and walking into a room full of people committed to building people power. Community organizing became my lifeline while I earned my PhD in urban studies, focused on the history of progressive politics right here in LA. I developed relationships with groups organizing communities most impacted by injustice. And 3 years ago, I realized how urgently we needed to bring even more people into these relationships of solidarity, including privileged white and middle-class people like me. In this moment of crisis, solidarity has gone from an abstract concept to an imperative for survival. LA Forward is a vehicle for solidarity. In response to COVID, we co-organized the Healthy LA Coalition of more than 325 groups, which won policies to protect vulnerable renters and homeowners, workers, and small businesses. We mobilized tens of thousands of phone calls and emails to elected officials. When people were feeling the need to do something, our volunteer-led teams welcomed a flood of new Angelinos into our community, a community that had developed deep relationships with organizers in low-income communities of color on the front lines of injustice. And when interest in local government surged as a result of the Black Lives Matter protests, we held teach-ins which educated thousands of people. Amid all of this, we launched our long-planned neighborhood organizing program, which is creating a network of local groups across LA County who are committed to holding elected officials accountable to support policies uplifted by movements for justice. We've done all of this with one employee and a team of amazing volunteers. But to keep up the momentum when the spotlight inevitably shifts, we need to blanket LA with organizers on the scale of a presidential campaign. With $500,000, we can do that. We can deploy organizers from the West Side to the Southeast cities, from the Valley to the SGV. They'll create volunteer-led teams in your neighborhood and dozens more to keep up the pressure on elected officials and get out the vote for social justice this fall and beyond. So we keep thousands of people actively involved in the movement and mobilize many, many more to accelerate the reconstruction of our society for racial and economic justice. Whether you have $200,000 to give or $20 a month, we invite you to get personally involved in our work to build powerful neighborhood communities for justice.